Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. And we'll get going here. So let's see, welcome to everybody who's joining us. I got my eyes and ears in the corner. Y'all let me know if there's any questions that come up, but welcome. This is our seminar about being fit after 50 and why it's so important to exercise. And who's this for? Let me move my picture here. People who have limited their activities or walking because they're having pain and discomfort. People who think it's too late to get fit or too many years have passed since they've been in the gym. It seems a little overwhelming now. People who want to be strong, to take care of themselves. A lot of people over 50 and in their 60s are in that sandwich generation. So they're taking care of their parents and grandchildren, and it can be exhausting. And people who are conscious about what types of shoes they should be wearing because their feet hurt and what they need to be doing to get themselves moving. So what we're going to talk about are misconceptions about getting back into shape when you're over 50, knowing that there's not just one size that fits all. Top exercises to gain and maintain overall strength and mobility, meaning what is most important for me to stay functionally strong? What do I need to be focused on? And what is functional fitness? Meaning, what does it mean to be strong enough to do these activities, taking care of parents or grandchildren, going to festivals, going on vacations, traveling, all of those things. Gardening is another big one that people want to be doing. So this is a little bit about me. If you're not familiar with me, I'm Catherine, the physical therapist here. I got my degree in 1997 from Emory University in physical therapy, and opened this clinic in 2019 with my business partner and my sister, Maureen Davis, who's a licensed massage therapist. So we tag team frequently in the care of our clients. Our mission here is to help active adults get back to exercising, feeling fit, enjoying the activities they love without medications, injections, or surgery. So we know that sometimes those interventions are necessary, but there's many steps that can be taken before going that way that can improve your function, your pain, all those things. So that's what we try to do here to help out. I have 3 kids, and in my spare time, I am pretty busy with them. I enjoy swimming, and I am a big sports fan. So joining us today is also Laura, who is our client care specialist and personal trainer. Laura, do you want to say hi and talk a little bit about your background?
Sure. Absolutely, yes. So I am Laura Gardeblood, and I am a personal trainer as well as a client care specialist here at Blue Wave. I began kind of my fitness journey over 15 years ago and loved teaching group fitness, but then that kind of turned into a little bit more of personal training and working with clients directly in smaller groups. And then came across Blue Wave, and this is, great job as far as client care because I'm able to work with our clients here, personal training them, but also working in the clinic. I am super passionate about helping people stay active and confident while doing daily activities that may involve their balance, range of motion, flexibility, strength, all of those things. And while I'm not here, I am usually exercising myself and spending time with my family. I have 2 boys and my husband and extended family as well. So that's what I do in my spare time.
Thank you, Laura, and we're so happy to have her part of our team. So getting to you and exercising. So I kind of threw these ideas out, but what keeps us from exercising when we're over 50? I mean, this can apply to before 50 also, this in general. But these are frequent things that I hear from people. I don't have time, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I have an old injury and I can't exercise, meaning when I exercise, it hurts, so I just don't. Or others who had an injury in the past and they're afraid of getting injured again. And then a large people, they just have no idea what they can do. We've had a client recently who's had multiple orthopedic surgeries, always kind of took it easy, and came to us saying, I just don't know how much I can push it. And so that was one thing that we helped her with. So I know that's a question that we get frequently. So what I'm going to talk about at first is why we need to exercise and what happens with aging that makes us think that we don't need to anymore or that it's too late. So with aging, we know in general, we tend to get a little bit weaker. We have changes within our body system. There's multiple systems, your muscle system, skeletal, your lungs, your heart, all of these things. So today we're going to focus a little bit more on the muscular system and how aging affects it and how exercise can help counterbalance that. So I'm going to get a little scientific as we go through it, but the majority of older adults are inactive, meaning they don't get benefits of exercise. I have frequent people tell me, oh, I'm active, I keep my house clean, I can walk through the grocery store, I'm always moving. That is being somewhat active, but if you are not stressing your heart and your lungs and challenging yourself with strength, that's not considered exercise. So in these different age groups, the middle age and what we call the young old, exercise will help you maintain peak performance and postpone premature aging. So that's all the way to 75. So you can stay peak performance all the way 75 with consistent exercise. After that, it's really helping to enhance your quality of life, meaning helping with chronic diseases, pain, just being active, playing with your grandchildren, all those things. And over 85, it's focused on maintaining your independence so that you can continue to live alone or decrease the amount of assistance you need for basic activities of cooking, showering, dressing, walking safely, all those things. So exercise is important throughout your whole life. You don't get to a point where you're too old and shouldn't be doing it. So here's the little science lesson that we're going to go through. This is a picture of a muscle nerve or a muscle fiber. You can see that within each fiber, there are lots of smaller fibers and smaller fibers within the smaller fibers. You have one nerve, right, which is called a motor neuron, which attaches to the muscle, and that's where the messages from your brain go down to the muscle to tell it to contract or relax. And you can see they kind of spread out to all these different muscle fibers. And then within, you see these little round circles here, that's blood supply that's going to run in between the muscle fibers. So we have two types of muscle fibers, slow twitch and fast twitch. So they work differently. And it's important that we talk about these differences and you'll understand why it's important to strength train. So a slow twitch uses oxygen as your primary source of energy, long sustained movements. And we say postural muscles, meaning these are muscles that have to work. They don't need a lot of strength, but they've got to work for a long time. So in order to be able to have you sit up straight, standing, things like that. So slow twitch fibers are going to be more what we call endurance fibers. Marathon runners are usually built with a high percentage of slow twitch fibers, and they can work off of oxygen for a long time. So I call those the turtles. They're a little slow, but slow and steady is going to win the race. So then the opposite is the fast twitch. Those really are quick, more powerful movements. So they are going to wear out faster. And those are the ones that are going to use your immediate source of energy or glucose. So they're power movements. So when we relate that to function, that is getting up off of the floor, getting off the low sofa, picking up your grandchild, getting upstairs. Those are your power fast twitch muscle fibers. Now we all have a combination of both. But like I said, the marathoners are going to have more slow twitch, and a bodybuilder or power lifter is going to have the fast twitch. And in your head, you can think about how their body shapes are totally different. So their muscle fibers are just working in different ways. And some of us are built with more of one or the other. And that tends to be things that we're better at, sprinters versus a marathoner. So the fast twitch are the bunnies. So we need both. But over time, you have declines in the type of muscle fibers. So between 60 and 80, you lose some of those fast twitch power ones, and they transition to more of a slow twitch fibers, or they kind of the fast twitch fibers kind of get smaller and those spaces fill in with fat, and we tend to get more restrictions in our range of motion. They get a little calcified and harder to move. So this happens even faster over age 80, but it starts at age 60. So with inactivity, the cross-sectional area of the muscle, so the whole big muscle around, gets smaller, and you will lose the fast twitch fibers before the slow twitch. So let me go back a little bit. Well, okay, so you have more proportion of the slow twitch fibers for forced generation. So this is when things get harder to lift the heavier things, to get off of the low surface. So this is a microscope stain, and on the left, you can see that's a younger muscle slide, there we go. And the darker colored fibers are the fast twitch fibers. And then the one on the right is an older person's muscle slide, and you have much less of the darker ones, much more, you'll see lighter colors. So you lose those fast twitch, and that's where you lose power. And this is where you start to see changes in function, is when you lose your power and your strength. So research has showed that exercise will help slow that process down. So the rate of decline and that transition from fast twitch fibers, power ones, to the slow ones can be slowed or even reversed with exercise. And it is shown to be reversed and have the same effect on 90-year-olds as a 25-year-old. So this is where a lot of people get to the point of, I am too old, there's no way. But there is proof that resisted and strength training in even older adults, as old as in their 90s, can have an effect on the muscle size and bulk. It's the same physiological process that is working for a 25-year-old. So there's no evidence to say that it will stop the loss of muscle fibers, but it will certainly slow it down. And then the other one is that they found that the capillary density, meaning all of those blood vessels that go through there, it will not change, or meaning it won't decrease if you regularly exercise. So if you are using those muscles, they need blood flow. Those capillaries and those blood vessels, they're all active, and your body knows it needs them, so you don't lose any of that either. So that's so important for endurance. So exercise, what exactly should be considered exercise? So this is just kind of a formal term from the American College of Sports Medicine, which does a lot of this research on exercise and how your body systems change. So any activity that uses large muscle groups can be maintained continuously and is rhythmic in nature. So large muscle groups, that means like your quad muscles, your thigh muscles, your butt muscles, some of your big shoulder muscles, your back. And why they say large muscles is because they require a lot more blood flow and a lot more oxygen. And so that is going to activate your cardiovascular system, your respiratory system. It means everything has got to kick in. And it's got to be done over and over. It's got to be some sort of stress. So you can't just pick up a heavy pot one time and consider that exercise. You have to do something over and over. So it means you have to overload the heart and lungs. Work harder than you do when you're at rest. So this is why I say just doing your regular basic house cleaning or grocery store or just being active. Some people who work desk jobs are like, oh, I get up every day, every hour and walk to the back of the house. Well, great, that's important to move, but that's not necessarily considered exercise. So benefits of exercise and why we need to do it. Muscle, build your muscle strength, your power, and your endurance. So your power is what's so important to maintain as you're aging. It reduces fat accumulation in the muscle and restores any loss that you have of lean muscle mass. And for those people who are concerned about weight loss, having more muscle mass means your body requires more calories, meaning it's easier to lose weight, that your body is, your metabolism is going. So it improves your flexibility, but most important, not just your strength, but your function, meaning what you can do. And we haven't even talked about the skeletal system, but osteoporosis is another big issue, especially in women. So Exercising and having strength training and mechanical forces through the bone will decrease your bone loss. So that may be another class that we go through if people are interested. So one last slide, that we know with age, we are going to lose some muscle mass. That is going to happen. But these three little lines show you how fast it happens and what you can do. So the bottom yellow line is if you're sedentary from age 25 to 90, how much your aerobic power, meaning your endurance and what your body physically can do, it declines way faster than the rate of people who are active. And then you can see the red line of trained. It still declines, but your functional abilities stays way, way above. So we're almost like 4 times better for people who exercise than the people who do nothing. So 4 times, that's huge, significant impact on your ability to travel, to take care of grandkids, parents, to maintain your independence as you're older, all of those things. So functional fitness. This is what we really work on here. And this is one thing that Laura works so hard with her clients too, is are you strong enough, one, to take care of yourself? And what does that mean for you? Are you strong enough to take care of your home? Meaning, can you do your gardening? If something breaks, can you fix it? Can you bend over to fix it? Can you get off the floor after you find something that fell underneath the couch? Can you take your garbage out? All of those kind of things. Are you strong enough to take care of your home? And then can you continue your hobbies is kind of the next level. So that might be gardening, it's definitely a hobby for a lot. Traveling, walking in the park, playing with grandkids, going to Disney with your grandkids and keeping up there. Going to Vegas. I think we may have somebody who's traveling soon. So all those things, can you continue to do that without being limited by your pain and weakness? And are you strong enough to keep working? I have one client who's 80 and still works full time. He comes twice a week just to maintain his strength. But it's important for him to keep working. He doesn't want to retire yet. I don't know that I want to work till I'm 80, but if, I want to have the physical ability if I wanted to. So I'm going to turn it over to Laura here and let her talk a little bit about what she does and how she applies these principles of muscle strengthening to what she does.
Awesome. Thank you. So I love hearing the scientific part of it, because I am, as Catherine talks about being able to go to the grocery store and being able to get up and go walk around and all of those things that aren't necessarily exercise, and it's not getting those fast twitch and slow twitch muscles going, it's important. And it's important for them to be able to go to the grocery store and not be winded while they're grocery shopping, or not relying on the shopping cart for balance, or all of these different things. And so they all go hand in hand. And I love that part of what I do as far as training is concerned. Functional fitness, a lot of people ask me, well, what does that mean? Like, what does functional fitness even mean to somebody that has no idea about, they think they're too old to get, started on a program, or they think that they're not balanced enough, or they don't have the stability, or whatever it might be. And so I go into, when I work with people, the first thing I say is, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to be able to do? Is it, lifting your grandkids? Is it sitting on the floor with your grandkids and being able to play with them? Is it lifting a bag of dog food, or even a bag of ice, or something like that? Is it that without having those limitations? So I sit down with people and say, what are your goals as far as that is concerned? One thing that I work on, stability, like I said, balance, but even more so confidence. Because if people don't have the confidence to know that they are able to have balance and have the stability and have the core strength to be able to do all these everyday things, if they don't have the confidence, they're not going to do it. And so I work a lot on that when I'm working with my clients, and just reiterating the things that they are able to do that they maybe didn't think that they could before. And I have a lot of clients that will say, oh, I can't do that. And yes, you can. And so it's kind of a mind game too. There's lots of mind, mindfulness that goes into that. I have some notes down, so I'll be kind of glancing, but the other thing that I work on is range of motion. There's things that, and I have clients that one of them specifically said that she was cleaning and she was able to lift a vase that she would normally have to use two hands to lift the vase. She could use one, clean underneath it, and then put it back down. Although that's not exercise, the reason that she's able to do that is because she comes and she works out, and we work on strength, mobility, but more importantly, just building that muscle strength for her to be able to do that. And so those are just that's just a testimonial of what functional fitness can do for her. Another thing may be reaching something from the cabinet. Again, range of motion, being able to open up your range of motion to be able to lift and reach for things that might be high up in the pantry. It's changing a light bulb. It's all of these different functional fitness things that you're able to do because of what you do in a, personal fitness or gym setting. Another one is I have another client that was so excited because she was able to get, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but out of those Adirondack chairs that sit really low to the ground, and she was able to get up without pushing down on the side to raise herself up. Well, that's all core strength, and that's being able to have the confidence that, okay, I'm going to, get up from that position. So those are all, again, functional fitness. Another client that was talking about how she was kind of tripping over the shoes that she had, which maybe they weren't the best shoes, but whatever, that she was tripping over them and a little bit nervous at the shopping center. And she caught herself, not necessarily in a fall, but caught herself and felt confident enough in her balance and her core strength to be able to reposition herself and go about. And she shared that with me because she knows that there's things that I work on in here that if you accidentally, there's going to be times where you might trip up over your feet. I don't care how old you are, but you might trip up over your feet, or you might, lose a little bit of stability. But when you have more strength and functional fitness, you're able to reposition yourself. One last thing on, these are just testimonials of people because I know that this resonates with people. It's give me examples of what types of things are going to happen. Will I be able to do if I take care of myself and do the things that I need to do as far as exercise is concerned. Another client that cleans his pool regularly, he had not anymore, but he had issues bending up and down, being able to go down, clean the leaves out or whatever and put them in the bucket. And he was having to hold on to something to get down to the ground. And he no longer has to do that. And so again, that's strength, that's balance, that's mobility, all of those different things. And so those are the things that I really focus on when I work with people. As you can see in the pictures, I'm going to use everything from weights. I use a lot of free weights with people because I feel like that's most functional throughout your daily life. You're picking up things. And so I use weights quite a bit. You can see a little ball in there that I'll use that. Mats, blocks, there's lots of different things that I'll use in there. If you see in the middle, that is someone that was using a TRX, which is a resistance type exercise where you're using your own resistance and weight to be able to do so many different things. And so we have a lot of fun with TRX, or I do anyway. And then the last one is actually a picture of me just doing some exercises on a ball. So some stability and balance there, incorporating weights with it, but also paying attention to, good posture and mobility as well as range of motion. So those are just the type of things that I might work with clients on. And it's really based on what their goals are and what they want to be able to achieve during their daily life.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to stop the screen share and just a few things. So Laura's picture and the person we have exercising, she's under 50, but that doesn't mean that people over 50 can't do those things. And we have lots of clients who do that. And not everybody wants their picture taken when they're exercising. So I bet some of y'all can relate to that. So you can get the resources you need, whether you go to your local gym, if you belong to a club or gym, there's usually personal trainers there who will get you started. You can do like a one-time introduction where they introduce you to some equipment. If you need more guidance, if you don't understand how to use it, you're afraid to be injured, you can do more sessions with a personal trainer. And if you have an underlying injury that really keeps you from going, or that flares up and causes you pain when you start exercising, that's the time that's appropriate to come see a physical therapist. So what we can do is do a full evaluation, find out why you're having this pain. It's usually related to long-term loss of your range of motion, your flexibility, and your strength. And we can educate you on what is safe and how to get started. Sometimes you need more help. We can't all do it alone, and that's why we're here. So we have the physical therapy option for people who do have injuries or underlying health factors and risks that we will work with you to get you started, and then turn you over to go back to your local gym, or if you like to work out at home, or if you like to use videos or use a personal training here. So those are all options. But just know that if you haven't exercised, it's really hard to get started on your own, and we totally get that. So use the resources that are available, but now you have a little bit more understanding of why it's so important. It's not just about fitting into clothes or looking good, or looking like Cindy Crawford at 70. It's not that. It's about your lifestyle and what you can do and what you have trouble doing. So that's why it's so important to just keep yourself active and find the resources that you need. So a few things that we are offering here is that, again, a physical therapy evaluation to help get you started. And then we're also going to be offering a group fitness class once a week. If you have interest in that, please reach out, find out more about it, because it is very limited in size. We have a small gym and we give you lots of special attention. So a group fitness class is sometimes a great way to start. You get some camaraderie. You don't feel like you're the only one, kind of understanding what's going on, and you can, help cheer each other on and get going. So any questions at this point? Nothing? We're quiet? Okay, that's fine. You can always reach us at Blue Wave, phone number 313-6502, or look on our website. We have contact information. We have lots of information on how to get started with back pain or neck pain, knees, all those things. And you certainly reach out and find out how you can get started and what you need to do to take care of yourself and to stay functionally fit. All right. Thanks, everybody.